You know when you see a critical safety warning that's completely faded? Or a really cool brand logo just peeling right off a high-end product? Well, the culprit is usually something we totally take for granted: the ink. So today, we're going to dive into a completely different class of ink from chroma.life technology. These are special performance, water-based solutions that are literally engineered to survive when everything else fails.
Okay, so let's frame it with a question. I want you to think about a high-tech medical device, or maybe a super rugged piece of outdoor gear, or even your favorite performance sportswear. When does something as simple as the printed label on it become the one thing that breaks, the single point of failure? Well, the answer is way more often than you'd probably think.
Because let's be real, your standard everyday inks just aren't built for the tough stuff. They can crack, they can fade, they can dissolve completely when you expose them to intense heat, or harsh cleaning chemicals, or just constant wear and tear. And look, this isn't just a cosmetic problem, right? It can mean losing absolutely critical safety information or your entire brand identity. And that is the exact problem chroma.life is built to solve.
So let's kick things off with one of the most demanding environments out there: high heat and steam.
I want you to imagine a piece of equipment that has to be sterilized in an autoclave, like in a hospital or a lab, or maybe parts that have to operate in crazy hot industrial settings. A standard ink, it would be completely wiped out. So the challenge is, how do you create a print that stays perfectly readable and totally intact through all of that? And here is the answer: chroma.life's G02A ink series. This stuff isn't just heat-resistant, it's literally engineered to thrive in these kinds of extreme conditions. Let's get specific, okay? We're talking about 121 degrees Celsius. That's about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And listen, this isn't just dry heat. No, this is superheated steam, the exact kind they use for medical sterilization. The G02A ink is formulated to stay perfectly stable, perfectly legible, meeting one of the toughest industrial standards in the world. And you know what? It's also incredibly versatile. So whether you're printing on specialized paper labels for medical kits, natural fabrics like cotton lab coats, or even durable synthetic fabrics used in industrial filters, the G02A series is made to stick and to last.
All right, so we've gone from extreme heat, and now we're going to move to our next big challenge: harsh chemicals and just plain, simple, everyday abrasion.
Think about a metal control panel on a machine, right? And it gets wiped down with alcohol-based cleaners multiple times a day, every day. Or what about the casing on your phone or laptop that's constantly being handled? The ink on there has to fight off both chemical attacks and physical wear. The answer for that? It's chroma.life's G01 ink series. This one is formulated for just relentless durability against pretty much anything you can throw at it, chemically or physically.
And hey, let's look at the actual data. This isn't some vague claim of it's resistant. No way. The G01 series is tested to withstand between 50 and 100 wipes with high concentration alcohol. We're talking 75 to 95%. This is tangible, measurable performance that guarantees your markings stay clear and professional for the entire life of the product.
So this makes it the absolute perfect choice for those hard, non-porous surfaces. We're talking stainless steel, aluminum alloys, and those tough plastics like polycarbonate that you see everywhere in electronics, industrial machinery, and automotive parts.
Okay, we've covered heat and chemicals, but what about materials that are actually designed to move? Let's take a look at the challenge of flexibility and washing.
For things like performance apparel, sportswear, or really any textile that's meant to be stretched and washed over and over again, the ink has to be just as dynamic as the fabric itself. A rigid ink, it's going to crack and peel off on the very first stretch. A weak ink will just fade away after a couple of trips through the laundry.
So the solution is an ink that can actually move with the material. And for that, meet the B80TY ink series, engineered specifically for elasticity and wash fastness.
This whole series is really built on a few key pillars of performance: incredible washing resistance, so the color lasts; high elasticity, so it moves with the fabric; and high elongation, which just means it can stretch a whole lot without breaking. It even passes these tough crust-cut adhesion tests. Basically, this ink doesn't just sit on the fabric, it becomes part of its performance. So, as you can probably guess, this makes it the go-to ink for all those demanding materials you'd expect: performance activewear, elastic bands, and even those neoprene wetsuit fabrics, which go through unbelievable stress in and out of the water. So we've just covered 3 huge challenges, but honestly, the range of materials that need specialized inks is massive.
And this is where chroma.life's portfolio really shines.
Okay, let's do a quick lightning round of some other material challenges. Printing on tough plastics like acrylic? You're going to want to check out the B765 or B80T series. What about glass and ceramics? The specialized G series inks have you totally covered. Flexible rubber? The B80T is perfect for that. And for those materials that are notoriously difficult, the water-repellent ones, the B80T X series is engineered to create a powerful, durable bond where other inks just can't.
So what does this all add up to? Well, it's about being able to design and manufacture products without making any compromises. The key takeaway, the bottom line, is this. Whatever the challenge, whether it's heat, chemicals, abrasion, or flexibility, there is a specialized, high-performance water-based ink from chroma.life that's engineered to solve it. It's all about building your product with the confidence that every single detail, right down to the ink, is built to last.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you. Whether you're a product designer, an engineer, a manufacturer, what's your material challenge? What's that one application you have where standard ink just isn't going to cut it?
Because there is very likely a solution out there for you. If you're ready to find it, the technical support team at chroma.life is your next step. You can reach out directly through email or line to get the conversation started about your specific needs. Thanks so much for joining me.